Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. And it's another day of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life round 15. And today's sketch is by Kathy Loves to Scrap, and I'll pop it in the top left hand corner there. I'll also add her details in the description box down below, anything that I can find for her social media links. So today I'm documenting two very boring photos, really. It's of a trip that we made to Yo Sushi as a family, and these are the only photos that we took. I didn't take any of us, just of the empty dishes, but it was a story that I wanted to record in my album, and that's why I've chosen to do these today. So you can see Kathy has got a diagonal strip down the centre of her page with what looks like 3 photos. As you can see, I'm just using 2 photos, so I will be altering the sketch ever so slightly, but I stick fairly closely to it. And once again today I'm using my scraps. I hadn't even realised that I had a full sheet of paper in my scraps, so this piece probably isn't classed as a scrap, but it must have been a paper that was left over from something else. So that was brilliant to use for the corners. And then I wanted to bring in the red that you can see in the Coke bottle in the photo. So I've just grabbed this piece with the white diamonds on it. It's actually a Christmas paper, but you wouldn't know. And add that as a layer behind the torn corners. So I'm just going to stick all these corners together. I won't stick them down to the background yet because I am going to do some mixed media. And then we'll see where we go from there. So you can see the photos I've already matted on. They were printed, I think. Oh no, I matted them onto white cardstock and then matted them onto black cardstock just to provide some definition there because they're going onto a white background. So I wanted them to stand out on the layout. So just layering those 2 papers together, as I say. I'm going to roll up the edges slightly just to give a little bit of dimension on the page, and then I want to come in with some mixed media behind those edges. So just grab my pencil and adding a thin pencil line underneath the red paper just to guide me to where the mixed media will go. And I'm going to use one of the new stamp sets from Hey Little Magpie. This is a directional stamp set, and I start off with these lovely circles. So just using a small ink block and my I can't remember what colour it was, I've just looked now. Fossilized amber ink. I'm just going to stamp all the way along both of those diagonals. Now with these stamps, you don't need too much pressure. They're quite a soft rubber, so they will splay out if you press too hard. But the image is beautifully crisp when you stamp with them. I'm really happy with these stamps. So I've done the bottom and now I'm going to go across the top just very quickly. I do move the stamp around a bit, change direction, just so that it all looks nice and organic right the way down. And the simple reason for going for circles was because of the dishes being circular in Yo Sushi. So now I've done that fossilized amber, I'm going to come in with the pluses stamp in the same set and use my archival ink because I want these to be permanent. I've got a feeling that I'm going to come in with some water at this point, so I decided to use archival ink. And in fact I do use some water, and I use a different colour yellow, so using black it would have bled and made a muddy mess, but as I've used archival ink it's just going to stay permanently on the page as is. So just adding a little bit more until I'm happy with where I've got all these crosses. I noticed that bottom corner was fairly empty there, so just a last minute addition there. So coming back in, I think I came back in with the fossilized amber, and I'm just going to use my acrylic block to smear this along the bottom. I couldn't be bothered finding some packaging, and I think it was Jessica Michaels doing this the other day, and I thought what a brilliant idea just to use the stamp block that you've already got out to add the mixed media. So I'm running out here and too lazy to add some more, so I'm just trying my best to get some down on the top, and then I'm going to come in with a paintbrush and just use the very last bits to get those down as well. So just seeing what I can do with that, and here we go, here's the paintbrush. So just blending it across where I'm missing bits and trying to smush it all together. So there we go. Now I can bring those papers back in and stick them down using my trusty ATG gun and just making sure that it's lined up on the edge. And when I stick this top one, I realise that the blue isn't quite as far over, is further over I think than the red. So I just have to overlap that edge, and then I'll trim off the excess, you'll see. in a minute. It doesn't have an effect on the overall design. So you see there we go. So now I can bring in the photos and start embellishing. So trying to decide where to put these photos was fun. I didn't know whether to have them at the bottom or the top, but because I wanted a title, I decided that I prefer them at the top. So just having a play, bringing in some bits that I'd found in my stash. This is all a great stash busting layout. I'm still going through all my embellishments and using my scraps of paper. Very nearly there now. I think this might be one of the last layouts that I create for a while, and because I've been missing using my other collections, and then I'll come back to my scrap series later on in the year. So just one more matte onto these photos. I love this yellow gingham. It's Cartabella as well, so it's got that gorgeous watercolour type texture to the paper. And you can see it's just big enough to get a torn edge at the bottom. So just using my fingernails to rough up the edges here. And nope, they're not going to go there. I will move them. There we go. So they're going to go at the top here. I stick the first one down a little bit too low, so I will come back in and readjust where that is. Sorry, a little bit too high. I didn't want them to be too stepped. So I moved the first one down and then had that second one nice and high. So now I'm coming, this is a scrap of paper again that you'll have seen me using in the past. I just love the phrases and sentiments on here. And this one says, totally worth the hype. So I'm just cutting it out inside the grey lines this time. I shall rough up the edges and then I'm going to mat it onto another scrap of paper, just to give it some definition. So you can see where the sketch has got 3 blocks. This is my 3rd block, but it's much smaller and it's attached to the first 2. So just getting that stuck down onto this paper. Again, another beautiful turquoisey teal colour. I love that. And then I found that sticker that I'm playing with there was just loose in my drawer. It's definitely a Simple Stories sticker, so I don't know why it was loose, but it says all the things, and we definitely, you can see from the number of dishes, we definitely tried all the things when we were in Yo Sushi, so I thought that would work nicely, and the colour works beautifully with this page as well. Then this is an old Obed Marshall paper, and it had Fiesta, which is celebration, I think, in Spanish, and I thought that would work really nicely with these photos. So I'm just going to add that in the bottom there. Again, just roughing up the edges before I stick it down. And my ATG runs out. Luckily, this is the last thing that I needed it for, but oh gosh, it's so frustrating when that happens. So there we go, that's that down. And now I want to add my title. So I'm going to go to my trusty Bella Boulevard Florence alphabets and just spell out Yo Sushi. And I've run out of exclamation marks on the black, so I just use a red for that, and I think that works nicely. And then the journaling, which just says, a lovely feast of Yo Sushi dishes at Cheshire Oaks. It's so lovely to see those little dishes riding around and choosing your favourite. Blue Monday is the best, all dishes one price. So just recording that memory of where we were and the fun we had. So going through all these old stickers now just to see what I can bring in to add to the page. I've left this in just so that you can see what I've got. It's quite interesting sometimes, isn't it, seeing what other people have got in their stash. So here's a little grey arrow from a Project Live sheet. And then this is an old My Mind's Eye one. It just has a date spot on, so I thought that would work nicely. I'm just focusing in on the yellows and blues. This is an old Jelly Bean Soup autumn sticker sheet. But I thought that this chevron arrow would work nicely. So I'm just trimming off the excess and save that for another day. And just trimming the top piece so that it's more pointy, because it was a little bit rounded before. And where I cut the end, I wanted it to match so that it didn't look like it'd been cut. So just seeing what else. I spot these, again, Project Live stickers with the days on. And I know this was a Monday because it's Blue Monday. So I add that to the page as well. And then just come in with my roller date stamp and add the date, which was June 2018. And then just going through the other side of the sticker book, which has got more of my Ellie Studio stickers and puffy and clear stickers. So adding a little puffy red heart, red star there and yellow star at the top. And then these lovely word phrases. I found one that says living in the moment in red, which I add to the above that fiesta piece there. And then these are the foodie ones, and I find this one that says craving this, because as a family we do love sushi, so I thought that worked nicely. Also this one that says menu, because there's not really a menu, is there? Well, I suppose they do give you a paper menu, but yeah, I just thought it worked nicely. And then this one says just chill. It was the right colour, and it was a really relaxed meal, so I did that too. So now onto these acetate stickers, and just adding a red heart and yellow heart there. And then I remembered my circle punch, which has been a bit neglected recently. I've not used it as much, and Karen at the crop was talking about hers today, and it made me think, oh yes, I should use that really. So just coming in with a few of those just to finish it off. And that's the layout pretty much done. So please do check the description box down below to see the playlist of everybody else who's joining in on this fabulous month-long hop. There are videos added every day, so it will just get longer and longer as the month goes on, and you'll have hours and hours of viewing for your pleasure. Just going to glue these black circles down. I'm pretty sure that's all I do, but just double check before the video finishes. So I've scattered them all over, including on that phrase card that I've got there, because I just thought that it finished the layout off nicely. It's quite a busy one, but I enjoy it. Yep, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.